I am sitting here in snowy Switzerland with Emma Jenkins, has come all the way from New Zealand to Switzerland. Well, Emma, thank you for taking a few minutes with me. Now, talking about New Zealand, I've just been to New Zealand recently. I found it very fascinating. But you come from there, and you've been there for quite a few years. Not too many, but a few. What has changed in New Zealand over the last 10, 12 years or so?
Yeah, that's a great question actually, because to my mind, having seen been working in the industry for the last 20 years, what I've seen in particular in the last 10 years is a change in confidence. So previously we felt more probably like we had to prove ourselves to the world, we had to compare ourselves, so we would put on tastings of our Pinot Noir and show Burgundy, whereas now it's more of a confidence to be ourselves. We feel as though we have proven that we make great wine and that we have a really good terroir and a country that is capable of producing fine wine of the world. So now it is more about, drilling down into what makes that really special. So we are still very young. You know, the modern industry is really only 30, 40 years maximum. So now it's the fine-tuning of what are the vineyards, the special sites amongst the vineyards, what's the alignment of the varieties and the clones and things that work best within those. And I guess for winemakers as well, it's feeling like they are now confident to express themselves in the wines. So rather than just making a very clean sort of a fruit forward sort of a wine, it's to probably be a little more daring and expressive in their wines.
So what are from a wine production, winemaker point of view, what are the challenges or potential that you see today for New Zealand?
Well, the difficulty that we have is, of course, that we're known for one particular grape and region, but New Zealand is so much more than that. So it's getting that message of depth and diversity out there into the world, which is a struggle for us because we're so small. You know, New Zealand's wine production is tiny. It's less than, I think it's around about 1% of the world's wine, or maybe 1.5%. And obviously, around about 75% of our industry is Marlborough Sauvignon. So, you know, there's not very much of the other interesting wines that we want to get that message out, that we also make really beautiful Pinot Noir, lovely Chardonnay, aromatic wines, sparkling wines. You know, there's real depth and diversity there, and so that's the difficulty, is getting that out into the world when often there's not much of it to go around.
So that kind of comes to the other side of the things. Well, for someone who is discovering New Zealand, maybe even traveling to New Zealand, what are the things that you would say, oh, you must do this, you must discover this, look for this?
It's a great question, because I guess there's two ways you can look at that, because New Zealand is a very beautiful country to visit. There's a reason we have tourism beyond just wine tourism as well. So you can visit the wine regions that are particularly spectacular. So people go out to Waiheke Island, they know Central Otago for that. But as a wine lover, New Zealand's quite a long, thin, not a very large country, so it's quite easy, say within 10 days, to probably visit for 1 or 2 days within each of the main regions. And I think what you will be surprised when you find that is that even though we're small and quite close together, they all have their own distinctive personalities, and you really need to go and stand in those vineyards and into those regions to explore those. But yeah, the things that you probably wouldn't want to miss, I guess it's very beautiful to go out to Waiheke because you travel across on the ferry and things like that. Hawke's Bay has a wonderful wine tourism to visit cellar doors, very welcoming people, and quite a diverse range of varieties there. You can travel down to Martinborough, which is tiny but has some of New Zealand's older spines and some world-class Pinot Noir, as well as much more. Then Marlborough, I think the thing for Marlborough that people discover is that it's not what they think it is. You know, there's vineyards up into the hills, there's a lot of different varieties, very spectacular. Waipara, which is about 4 hours, or, you know, kind of just north of Christchurch for people to orient themselves. Tiny limestone soils, which is very unusual in New Zealand. I found there wonderful Chardonnay and Pinot Noir to explore, and then of course finish in Central Otago, which has a spectacular landscape. Even as a New Zealander, I get off the plane in Central and go, wow. But great wines, and people have a real sense of fun and personality there. So,
So lots of reasons to taste New Zealand
Yeah,
wines,
absolutely.
and discover New Zealand.
Yeah, and you will find a lot of the wines that you won't see in your own home markets and things like that. So you can take back, some, the knowledge, but also help spread that word. And I think New Zealanders are a pretty friendly bunch, so we're good to visit.
Emma Jenkins, thank you very much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Come and see us.